A man shows compassion by inviting a beggar with a baby to stay at his home for the night. When he wakes up, he finds his house ransacked and the beggar and baby are gone. As he investigates, he uncovers a shocking truth about their identities and intentions. Hello, my friends. This is a Narrative Stories channel. Let's start this story. In a grand mansion perched on the hilltop of a bustling city, lived a wealthy businessman named Charles Montgomery. Charles was a man of influence and power. His wealth accumulated through years of dedication and shrewd business dealings. Yet, despite all his riches, he found himself powerless in the face of a heart-wrenching crisis. His beloved daughter, Emily, was gravely ill. Emily was a bright and cheerful child, her laughter once echoing through the vast halls of the mansion. But now she lay in bed, frail and weakened by a mysterious illness that had stumped the best doctors money could buy. Modern medicine had failed her, and her condition worsened with each passing day. Desperate for a miracle, Charles turned to an unconventional solution, hiring a poor nurse known for her traditional healing methods. Lena Martin was a humble woman from the outskirts of the city. Her reputation as a healer was well known among the local communities, where she had treated numerous ailments using remedies passed down through generations of her family. Though she lacked formal medical training, her skills and intuitive understanding of natural medicine were unmatched. When Charles approached her with an offer to care for his daughter, Lena felt a profound sense of duty and accepted the challenge. As Lena entered the grand mansion, she couldn't help but feel a pang of apprehension. The opulence and grandeur were a stark contrast to her modest home. She was greeted by Charles, a tall man with a stern face, softened only by the worry lines etched deeply around his eyes. He led her to Emily's room, where she found the child lying listlessly on a lavish bed, surrounded by the sterile tools of modern medicine. Charles explained Emily's condition and the various treatments she had undergone. The doctors had diagnosed her with a rare and incurable disease, leaving them with no hope of recovery. Lena listened attentively, her heart aching for the innocent child who had endured so much. "I've tried everything, Miss Martin," Charles said, his voice tinged with desperation. "If there's anything you can do, anything at all, please help her." Lena nodded, her resolve strengthening. She knew that her methods were unconventional and that many would view her as a charlatan. But she also knew the power of her ancestors' remedies. She asked for some privacy to examine Emily, and Charles reluctantly agreed. As Lena gently touched Emily's forehead, she felt an overwhelming surge of compassion. The child's pulse was weak, and her breathing labored. Lena began by brewing a concoction of herbs known for their healing properties, whispering ancient incantations as she worked. She applied poultices to Emily's chest and massaged her limbs with aromatic oils, hoping to stimulate her body's natural healing processes. Days turned into weeks, and Lena's presence in the Montgomery household became a source of hope and contention. The family physician, Dr. Harold Bennett, was skeptical of Lena's methods and frequently clashed with her. He viewed her traditional remedies as mere superstition and feared that they might interfere with the treatments he had prescribed. "Mr. Montgomery, I must insist that we continue with the prescribed medications," Dr. Bennett argued one evening. This folklore medicine could be dangerous. Charles was torn between his trust in modern science and the glimmer of hope Lena had brought into his life. He had witnessed a slight improvement in Emily's condition, but he couldn't ignore Dr. Bennett's warnings. "Dr. Bennett, I understand your concerns," Charles said, his voice measured. "But Lena's methods are the only thing that seems to be helping Emily. I can't turn my back on that." Despite the tension, Lena remained steadfast in her mission. She spent countless hours by Emily's side, singing soothing lullabies and telling stories of her ancestors' healing journeys. Slowly but surely, Emily's strength began to return. Her cheeks regained a hint of color, and her eyes sparkled with a faint glimmer of life. One evening, as Lena prepared another herbal infusion, Emily spoke for the first time in weeks. "Thank you, Lena," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Lena's heart swelled with emotion. "You're welcome, sweetie. You're a brave girl, and we're going to make you better." As word of Emily's improvement spread, the household staff began to view Lena with a mix of curiosity and admiration. Even Charles, who had been initially skeptical, found himself drawn to Lena's unwavering dedication. He spent more time observing her methods, learning about the plants and rituals she used. One day, Charles approached Lena as she tended to Emily's garden of medicinal herbs, which she had convinced him to plant on the estate grounds. "Lena, I must admit, I was doubtful at first," Charles said, his voice filled with gratitude. "But seeing Emily's progress, I can't thank you enough. Your methods, they work." Lena smiled, wiping her hands on her apron. "Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. My ancestors believed in the healing power of nature and the body's ability to heal itself. I'm just continuing their legacy." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Dr. Bennett, who had heard about Emily's remarkable recovery. He was visibly agitated, his skepticism boiling over. "Mr. Montgomery, this is highly irregular," Dr. Bennett exclaimed. "You cannot rely on unproven remedies. We must resume the prescribed treatments immediately." Charles faced a difficult decision. On one hand, he respected Dr. Bennett's expertise and the advancements of modern medicine. On the other, he couldn't ignore the tangible results of Lena's care. "Dr. Bennett, I appreciate your concern," Charles said, choosing his words carefully. "But I can't deny that Lena's methods have helped Emily. Perhaps there's a way for both approaches to coexist." Reluctantly, Dr. Bennett agreed to monitor Emily's progress while allowing Lena to continue her treatments. It was an uneasy truce, but it marked the beginning of a delicate balance between modern medicine and traditional healing. As months passed, Emily's health continued to improve. She regained her strength, and her laughter once again filled the mansion. Charles, who had once been a man driven solely by wealth and success, found himself transformed by the experience. He began to see the value in the old ways, recognizing that true healing often required a holistic approach. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, Emily stood up from her chair, her eyes shining with joy. "Daddy, I feel so much better now," she said, her voice full of life. "Lena's remedies and Dr. Bennett's care have made me well again." Charles felt a lump in his throat as he looked at his daughter. "Emily, I'm so proud of you, and I'm grateful to both Lena and Dr. Bennett for their dedication." Lena, who had become a cherished member of the household, smiled warmly. "Emily, you have a strong spirit. Your recovery is a testament to the power of love and faith." Dr. Bennett, though initially resistant, had come to respect Lena's knowledge and compassion. He extended a hand to her. "Lena, I must admit, I was wrong to dismiss your methods. Your dedication has taught me a valuable lesson." Lena accepted his hand with a nod. "Thank you, Dr. Bennett. There is much we can learn from each other." In the years that followed, the Montgomery household became a symbol of unity between modern medicine and traditional healing. Charles established a foundation to support the integration of holistic approaches in healthcare, ensuring that Lena's legacy would continue to inspire future generations. Emily grew up healthy and strong, carrying with her the wisdom of both worlds. She pursued a career in medicine, blending her father's scientific knowledge with Lena's traditional remedies. Her story became a beacon of hope for those who believed in the power of combining ancient wisdom with modern advancements. And as the sun set over the grand mansion on the hill, Lena's spirit lived on, a reminder that sometimes true healing required more than just medicine. It required the touch of a healer's heart and the belief in miracles. Thank you for being a part of Narrative Stories. Your support and engagement mean the world to us. We are committed to bringing you the best in storytelling. What kinds of stories would you like to see next? Share your thoughts in the comments below.